Welcome, my friends, to It's Vinylly Mine Vinyl Countdown. We've got 3 days left in the year, and so we've got 3 vinyls left to review before the end of the year, and this is one of those 3. Today we are looking at the soundtrack to The Return of Swamp Thing. This was released by TerrorVision Records. It's TV012, and it was released in July of 2023. And this is the first and last repressing, as they say, of this classic soundtrack from Chuck Serino, who also did the soundtrack to Not of This Earth with Tracy Lords, the soundtrack we reviewed a while back here on It's Vinylly Mine. So we've got another one of Chuck's here, so very excited to get up close and personal with this TerrorVision release, as they never really disappoint me at all. So enough of me babbling, let's drop the needle and take a look, shall we? And so here we are, Return of Swamp Thing, the hype label here, music from the original motion picture, colored vinyl liner notes from director Jim Wynorski. So you know what you're in for when you hear that name. A bat blade is out, so let's crack the plastic on this. And take a look at this release. Very excited. I mean, already that artwork that TerrorVision is known for, front and center here for it, their interpretation. This art is always impressive. I love this because you can still see the separation in here, yet he still feels like Swamp Thing, considering we're talking a lot of green in the artwork here, but there he is. And yeah, the big logo here, Return of Swamp Thing. Love that font. And composed by Chuck Serino, a film by Jim Wynorski. So yeah, just in general, very popping, very impressive art that TerrorVision always brings to their covers. And then the spine, while there's a lot going on it, I am impressed that yeah, you can definitely tell and read what is on the spine, and have it stick out on your shelf. And then on the back of it, oh yeah, here we go. We've got some gruesome production stills here and wonderful production stills here from the film, shots from the movie, which I love, showing off the great practical effects that they had in that film. We have our track listing in the middle here with enough contrasting font color here that you can make it easily to read, though it doesn't like blare out at you. And then the Return of the Swamp Thing logo again on the back. And this is all one art piece. So if we open it up, that is one full picture. So wraparound art going on here with the Return of Swamp Thing soundtrack. And yeah, side A and B, one vinyl record in here. But it's still gatefold, so they can feature some more art, which I always appreciate. And oh, look at that epic battle. The epic battle. Captured so well in this illustration. Seriously, this is why I love the TerrorVision and boutique stuff, is because they have this impressive artwork usually for these releases. Not all the time, but 99% of the time, and especially TerrorVision. They, bar none, really have creative covers. Waxworks has stepped it up as well. So yeah, those two for sure. I always love the artwork that they bring to these covers for the vinyl. And then we have in here the sleeve, which has wonderful comic book-like panels here for the, it looks like the liner notes in here. So that's great. They took that comic book approach with it. And then on the other side, we have some more liner notes in here, along with a couple production stills from the movie. But those are repeats from basically on the back of the cover. So they must have only had a few shots, or at least just a few shots that they could safely use. Hard to say, but still, I dig the comic styling of it. And then the vinyl, oh yeah, there we go. Return to Swamp Thing track listing there. Oh, I love it. Even the font of the track listing is written in the Return of the Swamp Thing font. So that's awesome. Almost looks like the SpongeBob type font. Not a knock on it at all. I just dig it quite a bit. And then on the back for side B, that beautiful picture. Look at it. It's almost like it's real. That's how wonderfully sharp that picture is. And I can't wait to listen to this soundtrack. So we're going to take a short break as always, and when we come back, I'll give you my thoughts on what this release sounded like and one of my favorite tracks. So stay tuned. Hey everyone, looking for even more content? Then why not head on over to our Patreon page, patreon.com/specialmarkproductions, where we have 3 affordable tiers that will get you access to the conversation before the conversation of the spoiler room, get an exclusive VIP episode each month that you vote for the spoiler room, and you can also get early access to our videos and so much more. So head on over there, because the more we can do there, the more we can do here. And we're back from listening to this wonderful soundtrack by Chuck Serino for that classic Jim Wynorski film, The Return of Swamp Thing. And let me tell you, it is a wonderful score done with synth sounds and such, and other instruments going on. Great mixture of different themes and styles throughout all of these sound cues that we have here in these tracks. A lot of them are short tracks, but still very interesting and wonderful to listen to. Whether or not one is using a pan flute, I believe it's a pan flute, and the other one is more full synth or a good mixture. You know, all these tracks are very, very interesting. You've got Arcane's theme, who I love Arcane's theme. Such a wonderful track on here. That was one of my favorites on here. And then you have a lot of fun ones in here as well. I believe, what is it? Boys Will Be Boys on side B is hilarious. It's just this fun kind of peppy track, and just very comical, very fitting for the scene that it was played out for. I love the love theme for this, a very melodic, beautiful sound, you know, just what you want from your love theme and what you might not expect from a movie like this. Knock Knock is very action-packed and action-filled, and you can tell what's going on there. Requiem, also a wonderful track, and To Sunrise, that's where that pan flute comes through for sure on that as well. So yeah, I mean, this is a great soundtrack if you are a fan of the Return of Swamp Thing. If you're just a fan of old school, more synth scores, I think you're going to want to check this out. It's still on TerraVision's website, I believe, available. Very reasonable price too for a release like this. And I'm not sponsored by them at all. I'm just recommending that if you are interested at all in picking it up, you should do so now. So thank you very much for watching another Vinyl Countdown episode. We've got 2 more to go, hoping to end on a strong note for sure with a very interesting release, and we've got one before that as well that I hope you find entertaining. So thank you so much for stopping by, and until next time, yeah, The Return of Swamp Thing is vinylly mine, and I'll catch you on the flip side.